big fat ass, yeah, all them boys cook. Work for dollar bills, now we poppin' rubber bands. Bruno sang to me while I do my money dance. Like, is it Lil Jon? Okay.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we trippin' the finesse to get big. Ow.
Ooh, don't we look good together? Do y'all know this is my song? Wait, let me turn it up so you can hear what I'm talking about. I don't know if you can hear this. Love me some Bruno Mars. That's right. It don't make no sense. I hear tripping and finesse. You know it, you know it. I hear tripping and finesse. It don't make no sense. I hear tripping and finesse. You know it, you know it. All right, let me get down to business. That's my song. Hi, how are you? I'm trying to kind of get myself energized and ready for our conversation today. Got lipstick on my teeth, excuse me. Yeah, it's off now. I think, yes, it's off. Listen, I'm real. I'm not even putting on any kind of airs. It is what it is. I like my Bruno Mars. I'm going to be in here dancing to my music. If I got lipstick on my teeth, I can see myself and I'm going to check it. Yeah, all that. So I laugh at myself. I hope that you're going to have some fun. So I'm starting to see that some people are joining. So please make sure that you say hi in the comments below so that I can give you a shout out and I can call you out by name. I really, really, really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. So I am Randi Martin. I'm the Chief Event Planner at Trilogy Event Design, and I am a wedding planner. I teach wedding planning to aspiring wedding planners. I also plan special events like birthdays and anniversaries and quinceañeras and bar and bat mitzvahs and all those types of fun social events. So, hi Chris. You're really smart. Hi in the comments below. Thank you for being here. I hope you stick around so you can make some more comments to me. Yeah, so I'm going to help you guys plan your events as well. So I want you to ask me questions. I will answer questions that are specific to the events that you want to plan. Hey, Tiffany, I'm glad that I see you this time. So last week's Facebook Live, for some reason, disappeared. I don't know what happened to it. I don't know where it went. It disappeared. It wasn't that great, though, because I was sick. And it was really short because I was so congested I could barely talk. So I'm going to try to make up for that this week by giving extra special content and making sure that everybody is energized and we are really, really going to have a good time together. So please talk back to me. I don't want to be talking to myself. So ask questions, say what you want to say, give me comments. Chris, I'm counting on you. Okay, thank you. So back to who I am. I'm Randi Martin, Chief Event Planner at Trilogy Event Design. I have been planning weddings professionally for 13 years now. Yeah, I think. I'm losing count. You know, once you get past 10, it's hard to keep track. But anyway, I've been planning weddings professionally for a really long time. I started out with just planning special events like baby showers and birthday parties, so I know about all kinds of things that are related to special events. So I'm going to help with those who are planning weddings as well as 50th birthday parties, which happen to be a whole lot this year. Like most of the birthday parties I'm planning this year are for the 50th. I hope when I get there, somebody is going to plan a banging party for me too. You got to plan one that's off the charts because it's mine. All right. So anyway, I also teach the Temple University wedding planning and consulting class. So I took this class before I became a wedding planner, learned from some great teachers. I got to take over just this past year for part of it, and my counterpart Linda Barness does the business side of wedding planning, all in the certification program. So if anybody watching is actually interested in becoming a wedding planner, check out Temple University's Ambler Campus 9-credit certification program. It's amazing, if I must say so myself, and you'll get a whole lot of information out of it. Getting a certification really means that you have this wealth of knowledge, you have access to this knowledge, but even after taking a class, you need to learn how to apply it, which is why I offer internships as well. So a lot of the students that come out of my class end up interning with me. All right, so let's talk about some things. On a scale from 1 to 10, how comfortable are you with planning your special event yourself? 1 being the least comfortable and 10 being the most comfortable. Post that in the comments so that I can kind of get a gauge for where you are with planning the event yourself. If you think that you need a lot of help, give it a 1. If you think that you don't really need that much help, maybe you're at an 8. So, you know, somewhere from 1 to 10, where are you? And yes, Chris, I know that's where you received your certification, because I remember you being in the class when I was just a guest speaker that one time. You're a 7. Okay. Tiffany, where are you on that scale from 1 to 10? Are you a 7? Are you an 8? I want to see where you are too. And anybody else who just joined us, say hi so that I can see that you're here and I can talk to you directly the same way that I'm talking to Chris and Tiffany right now. All right, so I did mention that last week's Facebook Live mysteriously disappeared. Again, I wasn't feeling that great, so I'm not really that mad that it disappeared, but I'm surprised. I'm kind of curious about what happened to it. Maybe Facebook was like, this girl is sick and her Facebook Live is horrible, so we're just going to do her a favor and delete it. But some really good things were talked about. So I was at the Crown Plaza. The Crown Plaza in King of Prussia is so beautiful. And we recently had a 50th birthday party there for one of our clients. It was a surprise party. It was awesome. I was able to transform the space using lounge furniture, and we had a stage for a live band. We had draping, we had ginormous balloons, and we had a really nice balloon garland over the dessert table. And the desserts were, oh, so delicious. Shout out to Leah at For Goodness Cake. Her cake pops were a hit at that party. Everybody loved her cake pops. And I must say that she had some candy coated strawberries that were like this big. Like the strawberries were so huge, and you bite into them and they were just so juicy. Those strawberries aren't like, I'm going to talk about the strawberries forever, so let me stop. Okay. All right. So anyway, so last week I did my Facebook Live in the lobby at the Crown Plaza because I was meeting with a client who I'm planning another 50th birthday party for, which is going to be in November. So after our meeting, I just stayed there instead of trying to do my Facebook Live from the car on my way home or something. And I was talking about wedding websites. So like them, love them, hate them. How do you feel about wedding websites? I find that they are very useful because you're able to give your guests a lot of information that you don't necessarily want to stick into your wedding invitation. Like if you have out-of-town guests, you can set up your hotel room block and put a link to the hotel room block on your wedding website instead of another printed piece of paper to be put with your invitation. Because, you know, the more printed pieces that you put in the envelope, the more the postage is going to cost. So having a wedding website to put them on, your registry, your hotel accommodations, things to do while you're in town for those out-of-town guests, who your wedding party is in relation to you and why you chose them to be a part of your wedding. All that kind of stuff is really useful to put on your wedding website. So also, if you're going to ask your guest for things that would be related to your honeymoon as opposed to another toaster or something like that, it's nice to give them some ideas. Like, our honeymoon is going to be in Tahiti, and while we're there, we would like to do skinny dipping and couples massages and have dinner on the beach, so your wedding guests can actually contribute to that kind of stuff. So that was one of the things that we talked about last week. And I also talked about a funny situation with a client meeting. So here in my studio, I have meetings all the time with potential clients, current clients, and we talk about the things that are kind of interesting or that they're struggling with, or things that they get stuck on. So I have what's called a Randi to the rescue session. They come to me and they talk to me about these issues that they can't necessarily find out the answer to on their own. Like, this couple is getting married in a barn and there are bats that live in the barn. Yeah, bats, like flying furry creature bats. And so the bride said, Randi, how do you handle a situation where there's bats in the barn? And I told her straight up, never in all the years that I have been planning weddings have I ever had to combat bats. It's not something that I have ever had to deal with. So we laughed a lot about the bats, but honestly, the bats live there. There's no way that you're going to get rid of them. If you're having a wedding in a place that is not a typical wedding venue, then you have to deal with the things that are there. It's their natural environment, and they're probably there during the day, like when the sun is up, and not during the night while they're flying around trying to find food. So they'll probably be okay. The only issue though was that because the bats had been there for the time that it was cold outside, when they went to visit the barn to take a look at it to see if that's where they wanted to have their wedding, there were piles of bat poop in certain places, because where they were sleeping up high, they would just drop down below. So yeah, they had to deal with that. So now they know, because they went ahead of time, that before they have their wedding there, they're going to have to make sure that the bat poop is cleaned up. They talked about having like tulle hanging from the rafters, but I kind of advise them not to do that, because if there are bats there and they're dropping, they're going to get caught in the tulle, and that'll be really gross. Okay, so hi Danielle, thanks for joining me again. I'm glad to see you. Yes, Chris, that's going to drive her batty. Yeah, we had a lot of laughs about the bats. That was a really fun meeting. I had a great time with them, and hopefully the bats and any other living creatures that are outside of that barn are not going to be a problem for their wedding day, because it sounds like it's going to be amazing. They're even doing their save the date photo shoot at a lavender farm, which I think is so pretty, and I'm sure it smells amazing, and so yeah, that's going to be great. Okay, so those are the things that we talked about last week in the video that got deleted. But so for anybody who's just joining, I asked for a rating from 1 to 10, 1 being the least comfortable and 10 being the most comfortable. How comfortable are you with planning your special event on your own without any help? 1 being the least comfortable, 10 being the most comfortable. I just want to kind of get a gauge of where the audience is with planning, so that I know what types of things to talk about and how to talk about them. As always, please post questions, because I want this time to be a time that you can get some individual attention from me. I can answer your specific questions. I'm not just going to be rambling on and on about something random that you don't necessarily care about. I want to talk about the things that you care about, because you took the time to be here with me tonight, just to see my pretty face. Yeah. Okay, so Tiffany, you're at a 6. Great, I got you. All right. So, let's talk a little bit about invitations. I did just talk about why a wedding website is good, because you're not going to have to put so many printed materials in the envelope. Danielle, 6-ish, I got you. So invitations, save the dates, RSVPs. I want to talk a little bit about that because as I have been handling some RSVPs for some of my clients, I'm noticing that there are some things that probably should have been handled a different way. If I had been involved in the design of the invitation, then maybe I could have told them these things, but I wasn't. But I'm going to tell you all some of these things. So, for example, if you are going to have a wedding website, your save the date is the perfect place to introduce that to your guests. So you're sending them a save the date that tells them, of course, save the date of our wedding. But if you have a wedding website that is linked on the save the date, you're telling them that here's where you can go to get more information about my wedding. And then on the wedding website, as you're building it, you can tell them that there's more to come so that they'll visit often. You don't want them to go to the wedding website one time and they get all the information they could ever possibly need and they'll never go back again. Keep telling them that there's more to come. This takes the pressure off of you too, because then you don't have to feel like your wedding website has to be done, like totally finished, before you start to tell anybody about it. Okay, let me read Tiffany's question. Yes, you're starting to plan your rehearsal dinner. Talk about what should happen at the dinner. Well, you should eat. So for your rehearsal dinner, only the people who are involved in the rehearsal itself should be invited to the rehearsal dinner. So some people think that they need to invite all of the out-of-town guests to the rehearsal dinner and all of that. No, you don't. The rehearsal dinner should be for the wedding party. Their significant others can be invited. And your parents, both sets of parents, immediate family. So the reason why you want to keep it small is because the rehearsal dinner is actually a time that your wedding party and your family can get together and actually have some time to get to know each other better than just at the wedding. If there's too many people there, then that kind of gets diluted a little bit. So the time that your parents and his parents would have to spend getting to know each other better may not be as significant if there are other people there that want their attention. It also gives your wedding party a chance, in case they don't all know each other, gives them a chance to get to know each other better too. So, you should give, if you're going to give gifts to your attendants, your bridesmaids and groomsmen for being a part of your wedding, that is a place that you can give them their gifts at the rehearsal dinner. Also, gifts to your parents. So a lot of couples like to give a special gift to their parents, just to say thank you for being supportive or for their contribution to the wedding fund or whatever it may be. So that's also something that happens, is there's some gifts exchanged. There's also a lot of stories that are told about the couple, toasts. Usually it's stories though. There's not so much of a raising a glass, but people will stand up and tell stories that may or may not be appropriate to say at the wedding reception, or it just may be something that, they want to keep within the intimate group. So those are some of the things that should happen at the rehearsal dinner. It doesn't have to be super formal. None of this needs to be rehearsed, or like there doesn't need to be an agenda. There's just some things that will happen organically. They'll be just natural for whoever wants to get up and talk about it, because that's something that they really feel passionate about. Don't feel bad if people don't want to talk, because it just might be that they don't want to talk. Or after they've had a few drinks, you might not be able to get people to sit down. So I hope that answered your question. I hope it was very helpful. And please keep the questions coming, because this is the part that I love. I love to answer your questions. Again, because I'm so grateful that you're here, I want to be able to devote this time to answering questions that you want to hear the answers to. If you have not already said hi in the comments, please say hi. And also, on a scale from 1 to 10, tell me how comfortable you are with planning your own special event by yourself. 1 being not comfortable at all, 10 being I'm very comfortable. No, you don't have to invite the out-of-town guests to the rehearsal dinner, Danielle. So if you want to, you can, but like I was saying earlier, you will be kind of taking away from the time that those people who are in the wedding are going to have to spend together to get to know each other better. Because let's just say you have like a lot of out of town aunts and uncles and cousins, and now they're coming to the rehearsal dinner. They're going to want to talk to your mom or your dad or whoever side of the family they're on, and that takes time away from your mom or dad being able to talk to your fiance's mom or dad. Yes, I got what you meant by out of town guests. So you can have something separate for them. You can have a welcome reception at the hotel that just like kind of is something that's very happy hour-ish. Maybe you do that before the rehearsal so that you have some time to just say hi and thanks for coming, and then you're off to the rehearsal. You're not stuck there with them. You could also have a day after the wedding brunch for the out-of-town guests who are staying at the hotel, assuming that you have arranged a hotel room block for all of your out-of-town guests. You can have something there, again, that is specifically for those out-of-town guests to thank them for taking the trip and for being there for your wedding. And, you know, maybe they didn't get to spend time with you at the wedding. They can spend some time with you at the brunch before they fly home. Yeah, so that's my stance on a rehearsal dinner. Of course, you know, it's your wedding. Do things the way that you want to, but it'll really save you a lot of time and money. Yeah, I mean, just imagine you're inviting all these people to the wedding, so you're paying for them to be at the wedding, and then if you're also paying for them to be at the rehearsal dinner, that's 2 times that you're feeding them dinner, and it's going to cost money to keep doing that. All right. Any other questions before I go back to the save the dates? All right. So real quick, save the dates are supposed to go out 9 to 12 months before your wedding. You don't want them to go out too close to when you're sending your invitations. So around the time that you have booked your venue, set the date, and then you've hired a photographer, you can take some engagement photos, and then maybe those engagement photos will be what you put on your save the dates. So about 9 months before your wedding date is probably going to be that magic point where you're able to have your photos done, you get your save the dates printed, you have your website started so that you can put your wedding website URL on the save the date, and then you ship them out. I have been told that the post office hates magnets. So just so that you know, the magnets, if you're mailing magnets, save the dates, you have to have them hand stamped because they don't go through the automated machines very well because they're magnetized and the machines are metal. It causes some problems. So the post office mentions, some people in the post office have mentioned that that is a thing. So if you're sending them, ask that they be hand stamped, which takes a little bit of time. So just be prepared that if you're sending out, say, 100 of them, that it might take, you know, all day or a day or two to get them all out in the mail from the post office. Also consider how much it weighs, because it might cost a little bit more than the average letter because it's a magnet. So consider that as well. Postcard save the dates are awesome because all you got to do is put a postcard stamp on it, which is less than a letter, and off they go in the mail. I would also recommend that you don't send save the dates to people who might not be getting an invitation. So I'm famous for the A-list and B-list. A lot of people know that I tell everybody, make an A-list and a B-list. A-list being those people that you can't imagine having your wedding without. B-list being the people that you'd be okay if they can't come. Basically, those would be the people who are like your third cousin twice removed that you have never seen in your whole life, but your mother says that you must invite this cousin. Or your coworkers who you don't really socialize with, and you know, they just know that you're getting married because you've been talking about it in the office. Those are the people that go on the B list. The A list, again, those people you can't imagine having your wedding without. And if some of those A-listers are out of town guests, you absolutely need to send them a save the date because they need to start making their flight arrangements. They might have to save a little extra money in order to make the trip. They might also have to take extra time off from work in order to come to your wedding. So even if your wedding is on a Saturday, they might have to take Friday off to fly in, or they might take Thursday off to fly in so that they can rest on Friday and then be at your wedding on Saturday, and then hopefully get back to work by Monday. So they need a little bit of extra time so that, you know, they can make the trip as well as, you know, arrangements for their life in general. So definitely send save the dates to those people who are out of town. Okay, so we talked about the save the dates having your wedding website on them. Let's move on. So the save the dates are out. You're making your plans. Things are moving forward. Your invitations need to be in the mail about I'd say about 8 weeks prior to your wedding for the A-listers. The reason I'm saying that is because if somebody from the A-list happens to say that they can't come, then you reach into the B-list to send out an invitation. But you don't want the B-lister to know that they were on the B-list, so you can't wait till like a week before your wedding to send them the invitation. So if you start with 8 weeks prior to your wedding by sending them out to the A-list, then there's a little bit of time where you can collect your no's. Most people who are a definite no will tell you right away. Most of them. So maybe you have a handful of your invitations printed with a later RSVP date so that you can send them out. Sorry. I should have put that on not disturb. My bad. Yeah, so the phone ringing also causes the the video to pause. So I hope I recovered that really quick and I didn't lose anybody. All right, so anyway, so invitations 8 weeks before. A list goes first, B list goes second, but not too close to the RSVP date. I hope you all got that. We good on that? All right. So let me talk about RSVPs a little bit. Your RSVPs need to be back to you in enough time for you to get your final count to your venue and also to start your seating arrangements for either seating chart or your escort cards to get printed. So there's a lot of things that are contingent on that RSVP date. I do not encourage anybody to wait until the last minute to do any of those things that you have to do. Oh, you did A-list and B-list and it's working great? Oh, you're welcome, Danielle. I'm telling you, I know things. I know things. Okay, so the RSVPs, if you set the date to be 2 weeks before the venue needs the final count, you are giving yourself enough time for those people who don't RSVP. So you can call them and say, hey, you didn't RSVP. I need to know, are you a yes or a no? So that I can count you in and get this all taken care of. We can reserve your seat, yada, yada. It helps if you, the bride or the groom or the host of a birthday party, this goes for that too. It helps if you are not necessarily the one who is calling these people. Get somebody else to do it who's not closely connected to the guests. The reason for that is that these people will have you on the phone for a long time. They'll be like, oh, I haven't seen you in so long, and, you know, I can't wait to see you, or I'm so sorry that I can't be there. Here's what's going on in my life. I'm having surgery, and the doctor said that if I don't get it done at this date, then I might lose my leg. Okay, so that's a little dramatic, but those are some of the things that people do. They will hold you up on the phone and talk your ear off forever, and you got a list of people that you got to get to, and you're only on number 3 out of 15. So get help. Your wedding party is excellent to do this because you need to give them jobs. They want jobs. They're waiting for you to tell them how they can help you. So give them a task like that. Same thing for if you are hosting a birthday party or an anniversary or something like that. You can always get help from people. They want to help out. You know, you probably have people that are just saying, what can I do? What can I do? Here you go. Call these people. All right. So once all of your RSVPs are back and you have your final count to the venue, you need to plan out the seating arrangements. This is not something that is easy to do. So I often tell people to do this when they send the invitations out. I wish I had some props right now so that I could show you what I want you to do. But if you take paper plates and small Post-it notes, you can start your seating plan in a way that is easy to remove and switch around. So the Post-it notes, the small ones, you write each guest's name on. The plates will represent a table. Most venue tables seat 10 people. You do want to check with the venue to see if they fit 8, 10, or 12 comfortably, depending on the size. But each plate will represent a table. You'll write a number on it, which will represent the table number, and then start to place the Post-it notes around the table, around the plate, until you have the right number of people seated at each table. As your RSVPs come back, when people say no, you can take their name off. You can take off the Post-it note and throw it away, and then you can shuffle people around. Or if somebody is adding a +1 that you did not necessarily intend to have, but you're going to let them have it anyway, you can kind of move some people around to fit that person in next to the person that they're coming with, things like that. So the Post-it notes are great because they're removable and they stick back on in another place, and it's not permanent. If you try to do this in an Excel spreadsheet, no matter how great you are at Excel spreadsheets, you're bound to mess it up. It happens. So when you insert a line to put in a person, but you don't insert it all the way across to make the whole row a new line, then maybe you kind of shift some people or some table numbers or something. Or when you're sorting, you end up having 13 people at a table as opposed to the 10 that are supposed to fit there. So things can get messed up in a spreadsheet, where if you're looking at it on a plate that only fits 10 Post-it notes, you're less likely to mess that up. It's old school, but it works. And you can do this at any point. You can do it while you're sitting in front of the TV. You can stack them up and put them away for a later time. If you're like me and you need arts and craft time at the insane asylum, that's my arts and crafts time. That's how I de-stress. I have arts and crafts time. So that's something that you can do that will not be very time consuming, won't be too stressful if you start it early enough. And when the time comes for you to turn this in, it's super easy. Your venue said we can do 6 at a table. Those are small tables, Danielle. Those are really small tables. 6 at a table is probably like maybe a 48-inch table. So that's like a cocktail table. Okay, so maybe they're doing like bistro style. Yeah, 6 to 10 is what you should normally expect, and that's at a 60-inch round table. So your tables are probably a lot smaller, but if that's what the venue has, I wouldn't say that you should go out and rent bigger tables, but you're going to need more tables if you're doing 75 people. You're going to need more if only 6 at a table. So yeah, that's something to think about, because the more tables you have, the more centerpieces you're going to need, which is going to increase your decor spending. Yeah, so see if there's some way to work around that with the venue. That's a great question, though. That's not something that I usually see, is small tables that only fit 6. Yeah, let me know. Follow up with me and let me know how that works out. I'm interested to find out what they tell you. All right, so I just happened to look at the time. It's already 8:35, and I was not expecting to talk this long. So I appreciate that you have asked questions. I love the interaction. Again, I love that you took the time to be here with me. Please do me a favor and share. So yeah, feel free to share any of my Facebook Lives. Tell other people about them. Tell them that they should join me next week. Oh, next week is 4th of July. I'm not going to be here. I want to be celebrating the 4th of July just like everybody else and watching fireworks when it gets dark. And it's going to be getting dark right around the time that I would be doing this Facebook Live. So next week, we're going to take a day off. Yeah, we're going to take a day off. Wait, Danielle, they said that you should do 6 at a table, but their tables hold up to 10. Then I would say do 8. 8 is probably comfortable. 6 is too, not enough people. 8 is comfortable, and 10 might feel a little crowded. So do 8 instead. And since you have 75 guests, you'll probably have 10 tables anyway, where there will be some tables where you have 7, some tables where you have 8, and that way you don't end up with a table that only has 5 people. All right, that's my tip. Do 8. Okay, so anyway, next week we're going to take a day off for the holiday. So I hope that you'll join us in 2 weeks on July 11th, where I'll be back giving more tips about planning weddings and special events. Share this with other people. You can hit the share button. Definitely hit the follow button. So you probably see somewhere around like right there, there's a follow button. So follow so that you'll get notifications for when I'm live again. Sharing is caring, so please tell other people about me. If you are not watching this live and you're watching the replay and you want to post a question or comment, put hashtag replay either before or after your comment so that I can know that you were watching it during the replay, and I'll respond. Since I'm not going to be doing it verbally right here, I can respond by typing in the answer to your question. And of course, if you want to meet me in person to talk about your special event and get individual attention and, you know, really spend some time talking to me about it, go to trilogyeventdesign.com and hit on the, click on the schedule a consultation link so that you can see my calendar and find a date that works for you, that we can talk about your special event. There's so many things that are going on. I can't even tell you. I have a wedding on July 7th, so maybe when we get together again on July 11th, I'll be able to tell you some details about how that wedding went. It's going to be a big, big, beautiful wedding at the Marion in Cinnaminson, New Jersey. I love that place. If you haven't been there for an event, you should tell somebody to plan an event there because they give you so much food. Like, so much food. I'm a pig. Okay, so yeah, you can meet with me in person. You can follow me on social media, Facebook and Instagram, Trilogy Event Design. You can see pictures of events. You can see some other past videos, all that kind of stuff. Some of my videos from last year are on YouTube too. Also, Trilogy Event Design. Okay, so hey Gwen, I didn't know that you were here, but yes, that place is amazing. I'm sorry, I keep getting lipstick on my teeth. I can see it. I can't help it. Okay, so yeah, definitely follow, share, tweet, tell everybody about Trilogy Event Design for me so that I can continue to share all this knowledge with you and other people. And as always, best wishes and unicorn kisses. I thank you so much for being here with me tonight. Toodles.